All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got the ZT0562 in carbon fiber with me. And as usual, we're going to analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this blade. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison. This is up against your Benchmade 940-1. As you can see, a little bit bigger. And this is up against the Riyadh Augustus. So as you can see, right in the middle. This is your mini glimpse from Beg Knives, just adding some carbon fiber options over here. And this is your large Sebenza 21, also in carbon fiber. As you can see, very, very comparable size. And we also have got some like PM2 going on. So almost exactly the same size. And this is your PM3. So as you can see, very, very pocketable size. And let's get started. So visually, this is original design from Rick Hinderer. It's a collaboration between ZT and the man himself. This is a quite popular design and truly like a classic knife. This is made in the US. It's of course like a titanium frame lock, as you can see, with just a carbon fiber scale to reduce the weight. The screws are like, you've got five screws, including the pivot. And the odd thing is that you are gonna need like 3 Torx bits in order to disassemble this guy. In fact, oddly, they use a T10 for this screw here, which holds the pocket clip in place. They use like T8 for these 3 and the pivot. And they use a T6 for the lock bar insert. For the lock bar stabilizer. This is also T8. So you're gonna need 3 screws to disassemble this guy. They're not proprietary, so everybody is gonna be able to maintain this knife. Just bear in mind the pivot is not captive, so you're gonna need probably 2 sets of screwdrivers, but not a big deal. There's no lanyard hole, of course, as you can see. This is an open construction with an open back, and you've got these like 4 standoffs nicely blackened out, as well like the screws. So classic construction, very solid. These pillar are not gonna move, let the scales move in any direction. You've got some jimping going on over here and over here. And yeah, like all the surfaces have been nicely chamfered. As you can see, pretty well rounded. So they did a nice job. They put some attentions to the details. The pocket clip, it's titanium anodized, has a nice, as you can see, a nice ramp. Of course, it's not reversible, as the pocket clip is gonna be installed in this notch right here in the inside the titanium scale. So only tip up and right side carry. You've got a nice rounded flipper tab over here. It's not gonna be like too much bothering in your pocket. And also you've got a nice lock bar steel insert to prevent lock stick and to give a little bit more life to your knife, as well as a lock bar stabilizer over here. This is gonna, prevent you to overextend the lock bar. So another great design from Rick Hinderer. If you open the blade, visually, it's a classic. You instantly recognize this is just pure classic design. The blade material is S20V, like CPM crucible, so really good steel. You have a 2-tone blade. In fact, the flats are stone washed, as you can see, and the primary bevel has been like, it's satin, like directional in this way, as well as the swedge. It's not a full flat as well, because you got some flats here, so the grind is just flat up to here, and you've got this beautiful plunge grind going down here, revealing how thin behind the edge this blade is. It's not like super thin, but it's a good slicer for sure. You have, also nice thumb ramp over here with some jimping going on. The design is beautiful. It's a classic. I mean, you have a nice flat edge over here with this belly coming up. I mean, it's classic. Beautiful sharpening choil, very functional. There's no finger choil, of course. As you can see, the blade stock is not the thinnest, but it's very reasonable. And the tip is quite thick, so it's going to be pretty good if you need to do some prying job. What else can we say? Well, I mean, the lines are pretty nice when this guy is open. You have these 3 finger grooves, that are gonna beautifully accommodate your fingers. So you're gonna get a nice grip. The edge has a pretty awesome symmetry, like the way it has been ground on this side. It's the same of this side, as well as these lines are matching exactly on both sides. So very, very good construction. You've got these, they might look like thumb studs, all right, but they're not. It's very difficult to open the knife using this kind of method. Of course, you're gonna flip it open. These are actually stop pin for the open position. You see, the stop pin, this pin just hits the scale and just makes the blade stop. In the closed position, you've got an internal, like a pin right there, which is gonna hit the blade like that and keep it in the closed position. So very, very nice design. Something that I'm not a fan of is the billboarding, like when maker just laser engraves the logo here and you have some writing going on, the serial number. I'm not a fan of that because I think it detracts from the cleanliness and of the overall design. I much prefer like sterile look blades. Something also to notice that the hardware is not protruding too much, as you can see, just a tiny bit. So it's gonna be all right. Let's hear some noise, because this is a pretty peculiar noise when it opens and when it closes. So once again, it's very snappy. And also like in the closing position, not too loud, but it's nice. I like it very much. It's solid. Hear this. Really, it's a little bit like a whip. It's beautiful. And yes, and it gives like a nice kick back. And when you close it, it's like this, it's pretty soft and pleasant. Has a beautiful sound. This is running on bearings, so that's why this action is pretty fast. And it's pleasant. It's a pleasant noise. I'm digging it. Let's see about some feelings when you hold the knife, because the handle, it's just incredibly designed. I mean, come on guys, this you can see just falls into my hand perfectly. There are no hot spots, even if the clip has this ramp over here, when you hold it in the blade, as you can see, it just naturally falls into this groove and it disappears in my hand. So I don't really see anything. There's no sharp edges all around, the chamfering and the rounding. It's very good. It gives you like a nice feel, like feels pretty solid. The construction with these standoffs gives like a much rigidity to the knife. So appreciate that. Overall fit and finish is it's spot on. Like if you check, if here between the carbon fiber scale and the liner, there's no lip all around. It's very well made. The only thing that I, don't understand is this part over here. You see this carbon fiber scale is protruding. So it's extends, from the liner. So they could have saved a little bit of, they could have cut this a little bit more in to leave some more relief cut to the lock bar, to disengage the lock bar. Whereas now you just have this cut over here, so you have to jam your finger here like this. Not a big deal, but like having, this one milled out a little bit more, you could have left a little bit more room for your finger. But overall, I mean, it's a smooth operation. It's pretty easy to do, so not a big deal. I don't see any gaps, in the scales left. It's fit and finish. It's pretty spot on. Of course, there's no blade play, no vertical, no side-to-side play. It's solidly built and well constructed. Of course, you cannot choke up with your grip because there's no finger in choil, so you're gonna have just to be like this and use the thumb ramp over here. And with this pretty functional jimping, it's relatively short, as you can see, but it's functional. So it gives you a nice grip. You can even do like a reverse grip like that and use your thumb like over here to help pushing, and the flipper tab over here is going to serve as well as a guard, so your hand won't slide down. Clip, it's pretty good. It's a deep carry pocket clip, has a nice retention, good spring action. It's only tip up carry, it's not reversible as we said, and but it's very well designed. I really like it, and your knife of course is gonna disappear in your pocket. When you deploy the blade, you've got a couple options. You can do, like a light switch like this, or you can do like a push button like that. Both ways are just deploying the blade super fast. It's beautiful. It's very reliable, great sound. It's smooth. It's buttery smooth. They did a great job. This guy is running on KVT bearings. These are plastic caged bearings. It's not steel cage, but regardless, the action it's very good. It's on par with much more expensive knives. So very smooth, fast, and reliable deployment. It's not gonna fail on you. Beautiful. The detent strength is pretty dialed in. It's it's the right amount. It's not too strong and not too weak. So you know that when you push this guy, the flipper tab, the knife is gonna deploy. Very, very nice job. To close the knife, you're just gonna have to wiggle a little bit. You have as soon as you disengage the lock bar, as you can see, the blade is gonna fall. It's not like it's not gonna fall under its own weight. You have to just wiggle a little bit, but it's super smooth, guys. With the right lube, it's gonna drop like this. So not a guillotine, but very, very smooth closing action. Really nice overall knife, great. You also have a nice suction at the end, kind of like a magnetic effect, and you can't go wrong with this guy. And there you have it. This was my review of the ZT-0562 in carbon fiber. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.